Hey guys, I'm going to give a quick demo or just sort of an overview on a portion of processing when using OPUS projects. So what I'm trying to do right now is update my tracking sheet with all the observations and the PIDs and the designations and the counties and who observed them. So right now what I'm looking at is my South Coast project, and I was doing some session processing, and so that's what these values are. These columns are down here. These are each session, and when I hover over them, it'll show you which session it is. And then once it's been processed, it gives this little blue marker underneath the number. So for tracking purposes, though, let me bring my tracking sheet over here. There's this guy. Dang it. Oh, okay. I don't know why it does that. Open up, and then we bring it over here. Okay. And then I'll open up my project. So, because the way Opus Projects works, I can't tell like which PID, what NGS PID these points are. The Opus Projects assigns a 4-character ID, and that's this number here, and then organizes them by session. So when I was like, okay, well, which point was which, and then who observed what, and how many observations do I have on each point, that's been a little bit tricky. So I created this spreadsheet, this tracking sheet, based kind of copying the way they have their layout here. And then over here on the marks, I can click on each one of these, and it'll pop up, tells me, okay, this one's been observed twice by Anthony. And then I click on that one. Okay, this one's been observed once. So I click down this list. First off, and then I put that information over here in my spreadsheet. So I said, okay, this is 3231. That's this point right here. And then Steve Martin observed it twice. So I put him as observer 1 and observer 2. Now I'm trying to figure out, okay, which point is that? Which PID is that? Now I've already assigned the PID. So let me go to one that I haven't done, which is going to be this mark 5539. So if I go to the marks page, that's what they call it. Now I'm in the marks page. So if I can look at each individual mark. So if I go to 5539, it's going to take me to that point. Okay, and that particular one I've already gone through and added the PID. So just for the sake of this video, let me do another one that doesn't have that information already. And with my luck, it'll probably come with one. Yeah, it is. Okay, so I'm striking out here. Let me try another one. I want to demonstrate how this works. Okay, so here, this one doesn't have any description information in it. And I'm able to, so basically it tells me that this observation A001, which I know was first by Anthony submitted and then by Steve, A001. I have no idea what point that is, what PID, when I'm just looking at it like, and, taking, what's on the screen. So what I do is it Opus Projects knows what existing NGS points are in the area of your observation. And so right there, if I hover over that triangle, the black triangle, I get a snap tip, DX0275. So I click on that, and then the data sheet pops up. So what I'm doing is okay, now I know that mark A001, which is over here, I know that that is PID DX0275. And then when I look at the data sheet, I know that the designation is D62. And then now I'm even keeping track of the county. So SD. And then what happens, so now I have the option to use that description or use the coordinates for the project or use description and coordinates. I'm not going to worry about the coordinates or the description. The coordinates. I do want to keep the description though. But what I found that sometimes there's a glitch in the way Opus Project pulls this data. So what I go is I come down here and I double check. Okay, that's a marker type is a DB. It's a setting of 7 and stability of C. So I go use description, and then now it's like I think it's pinging the database, going, okay, let me populate this mark A001 with that data sheet information from the database. And then so there it populated. Now this changed color, and I have D62 DB7 stability C. Now there's some information here that I'm still going to need to add, and then like the description, and then the photos. Now I think some of this stuff has to be finished up in Windesk, but I'm trying to do as much of this as I can in here, because actually when I process the sessions, I noticed that if you add this information after you process the sessions, for some reason it strips it. So save description, it tells me that there's an error. I don't have a description, I don't have a close-up photo, and I don't have a horizon photo. And then it's also telling me that uh, this other, although it's not recommended, all project activities can proceed with the following warnings. So I need to add this. I'll eventually need to add all this information as well. I hit OK. It does its thing. And now it's updated. And then so I would continue. I'm continuing this process like so. So let's go to the next point. So as you can see, it's kind of time consuming. I gotta wait for it. Okay, that one's been populated. I'll have to go back through and update my spreadsheet. Let me find another one. This guy. Okay. So again, I'm gonna click on. Now sometimes when I'm looking at an observation, I've seen where the triangles there's like 3 of them stacked up on each other right here. I'm assuming they're the RMs, the point RM1, RM2. So in those cases, I gotta do a little bit of digging to figure out who observed what. So that having that information available to me is helpful in those situations. So I'm going to click on the point. Data sheet will pop up, and then I update my tracking sheet. So for A003, which is this guy, I'm going to use County of San Diego, and then it's PID DC0427, designation N570. Okay. Then I double check my, so it's going to be a DB31 stability D. Use description. So DB, to see how it didn't give me the setting, unspecified. So that's the glitch. So I got to go down and go, okay, that was 31. And then stability was actually D, not C. So DC0427 matches my tracking sheet, and 570 matches the designation. And then I hit save. And then it's telling me that I have the 3 same warnings. If I would have left one of these other things, like with no selection, it would have given me 4 warnings or even 5. If I would have saved this, let's just say that, let me cancel that, and I save this with that original 0, I hit save, hit OK. I'll get a banner on top of my browser that tells me that something doesn't match the database. And that's this right here. So the setting does not match the data sheet. So again, it was a 31. So I do that, then I hit save, hit OK. There you go. So then, so I'm doing this step by step to populate the marks with the recommended, what's required, except the description. I'm going to just put found as described, unless there's a difference or a discrepancy, and that's where I would like the observers to make a comment in here saying, hey, this, this or that, this is an issue, and then I can make those changes in the project. Alrighty, well, I hope it's helpful. Stay tuned for the next video. I'll cover like how the session processing works.
Si pudiera ver lo que viene en el futuro.